basking in the sunshine, that beautiful, nourishing vitamin D, soaking it. Having it flood the body and the immune system. Getting out here early, getting that workout in. Getting that connection with Yahusha, the Most High, the Supreme Elohim. He who breathes life, he who creates, he who brings all into existence. Sitting here on this grass, this field, you got these beautiful glistening blades of grass. The dew drying as the blades start to come up from under the weight of that moisture and stand tall to get the nourishing rays of all that Yahuwah has brought into existence. It feels good, feels nourishing, feels healing, feels joyous, feels true, feels righteous, feels loving, feels like life. Robust, dynamic life, everlasting life. You know, there's this concept of non-negotiable. What are your non-negotiables? What are the rules, the regulations, the traditions that you set for yourself that you will not barter for, that you will not parse into, okay, well, I'll do this here, but, I'll do something else there, and that you do not haggle with, that you do not discount the importance such that it becomes a set part of your day-to-day. What are your non-negotiables? What time are you going to wake up and adhere to such that there's no questioning of whether or not that'll be the case tomorrow because, you need a little bit of extra rest? How many days a week you're going to get to the gym, and how many days a week you're going to do your training, how many days of the week you're going to go out on a run, how many days of the week you're going to do your stretching exercise, how many days of the week you're going to do your walk, how many days of the week you're going to do your resistance training, such that you're going to do it 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 3 days on, 1 day off. What's it going to be such that you do not compromise? What are the foods that you're going to eat and foods that you're going to stay away from, such that it is what is known as a non-negotiable? I will not negotiate with myself and allow myself to eat this particular piece of junk because it's a treat or it's a cheat day or whatever you want to call it. What are my non-negotiables? These are the days that I'm going to nourish my soul with the Word every day at this time, or every other day, or on Sundays, or whatever. See, here's the thing about this concept of non-negotiable, the rules and regulations that you're setting for your life. The framework, the blueprint, the instructions by which you're going to live and not compromise on. If you're viewing them as non-negotiables, such that you have to think to yourself, well, this is something I want to compromise on just for today, or this is something I want to discount just for today, or this is something I'm going to haggle with in my mind. Okay, I'll trade this out for that. I'll eat right today, but I'll train right tomorrow, but I'll read the good news and the parables and phrases of Yahusha, nourish my soul, my mind, my spirit on this day, but I'm going to skip this Sunday because I got to do this. I got to get up for, I got to make that happen, and I can't get there at this time if I do this, and so I'll just push it off till tomorrow. Negotiating with yourself such that you're trading something for something else. And this concept of non-negotiable, that it should ever be negotiable, that it's something that you have to think about as, okay, when the time comes that I am going to think about discounting it or breaking that regulation I've put on myself, or I'm going to haggle with myself and barter today for tomorrow, this food for that food, this workout for okay, I'll work out I'm not going to work out tomorrow, but I'll work out 4 days in a row instead of 3 days in a row this week to make up for it. Or I'm not going to wake up at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'll do 4:30 or 5, but then the next day I'm going to wake up at 3:30 to make up. Whatever your story that you're telling yourself when it comes to discounting, haggling, trading, in your mind negotiating with the things that you know you need to do. If you're even contemplating the concept of something being a non-negotiable, then you haven't entered the right mind space. You haven't had that mindset shift. You haven't had that paradigm shift yet. And I implore you to reconsider the whole concept of having to set these rules for yourself, having to set these regulations for yourself, having to set these non-negotiables for yourself, because you're looking at it. We look at these things. When I say you, I mean me. We look at these things from the wrong perspective when we think about them as non-negotiables, because it already means that it's something that you know you're going to at some point come to negotiate, and you're going to have to say to yourself and be disciplined and have self-control such that you're going to have to remind yourself that, nope, I can't negotiate with this. I wake up at this time every day. I feed my spirit, my soul every day with the word, with the good news of Yahusha, with his commandments. Nope, these are the foods I eat. These are the foods I don't eat. Nope, I'm training today. I'm working out. I'm getting in the exercise. All of these things that we know are important and that we're setting rules for. If we have to set the rules and the regulations and the boundaries and view them as non-negotiable, we're in the wrong place. We're looking at it from the wrong angle. We're taking the wrong perspective. You haven't entered a place where you're viewing things as a natural state of being. Not a non-negotiable. Not something that you want to do but you're holding yourself back from. That's the wrong perspective. That's the perspective that leads to disaster. Because we are naturally rebellious. We naturally repel. We naturally push back on any rule, regulation, or tradition that's put on us. We are only human. We are imperfect. And so as much as we know something's good for us, if it's made to be a door that's closed in front of us, our curiosity is going to get to us, our instinct to push back, the fact that we're compelled to debate everything in our lives. Rebelling. We're naturally rebellious. So when you make something a rule, what do you think about? Just think about the phrase, rules are meant to be broken. Why do you think that's a phrase? Because that's who we are. That's who we're human. We rebel. We rebel against order. We rebel against tradition. We rebel against rules. We rebel against regulations. It's in our nature. The angle, the perspective that we want to take has to completely shift. These things that we set as so-called non-negotiables the wrong way to look at it. So here's the thing. I don't look at waking up at a certain time. Right now, that time that I set the alarm for is 4 a.m. every morning. Except for Saturdays and Sundays, I let myself wake up naturally. So today, for instance, I woke up at 5:30. And that's it. Laid in bed for a little bit. Couldn't fall back asleep. No problem. I'm up at 5:41. That's it. Time to go. But during the week, I set the alarm for 4 a.m. I set it at that, and I wake up almost every single day before the alarm. I don't view waking up early as something I have to do. I view it as something. I can't wait to attack the day. I can't wait to get a head start on the day. I can't wait for the day to begin and for all the beauty and the wonders and the excitement and the enthusiasm of what lies ahead. The nourishment I'll be able to experience, the joy I'll be able to experience, the healing I'll be able to experience every single day. I don't view it as something I have to do. I'm driven. It's a passion. If you're viewing a pizza or ice cream or cookies or candy or cake or junk food, poisonous, toxic foods, sugary, syrupy, fatty, decadent foods as a treat, if that's the way you're looking, if you're looking at it as a party, as a celebration, as something that you do because you love it, you're enamored by it, it feels good to you, if that's why you're eating, if you're even knowing how bad it is for you, you're doing it because you desire it. It's decadent. And you desire it. You desire it with all your being, and you can't stay away from it. And then you make it a non-negotiable, and you try all your might, but you want it. You want it. You're looking at it as a treat, as something you desire, as something you enjoy. And so to make a rule about it, to make it a non-negotiable, you're going to constantly be wrestling in your mind in the hardest of moments. It's going to happen for you once a day. It's going to happen for you twice a day. It's going to happen for you 3 times a day. It's never going to end. You're going to be wrestling constantly, haggling, bartering, trading in your mind one day for another, one meal for another. Because you're looking at it the wrong way. The way I view pizza, ice cream, candy, any of these foods, I view them as poison. They're abhorrent to me. I reject them. They defile you. They debase you. They wreck you. They tear you to pieces. It would be like eating manure. It would be like eating waste. So it's not a non-negotiable. I abhor it. I repel it. I reject it because it's poison. And I don't want that toxin, those chemicals, those illness-breeding, cancer-breeding, disease-breeding foods to ruin what Yahuwah has created, the temple he has given me to house the Ruach, the breath, the set-apart spirit. I don't view training, exercise, as something that I've got it. I'm doing it because I have to do it, because I have to stay in shape, because I have to stay healthy, because I have to live longer. It's because but it hurts and it's painful and it's time consuming and it's laborious and it's uncomfortable. But I'm doing it anyway. But I hate doing it, but I'm doing it. But I have to because it's non-negotiable. Just like, I have to stay away from these foods because I know they're bad for me, but I want them, I desire them. So I'm setting this rule, but I'm going to wrestle every single moment of the day with that. But when you view it for what it is, as poison, as toxins, It's not a non-negotiable. It's natural. You don't take poisons in. You don't take toxins in willingly. You have to have that mindset shift, that paradigm shift. If you view training, exercise, if you view it as uncomfortable, if you view it as laborious, if you view it as painful, if you view it as time-consuming, if you view it as if you view it as something that gets in your way every day, but you have to get through it because someone has told you that in order to get healthy, in order to be in shape, in order to not die, in order to protect yourself, in order to be a better, stronger, more resilient human. And so just to live up to that expectation of you, whether that expectation comes from your doctor or a family member or a friend or even yourself, if you're trying to live up to an expectation, such that you need to make it a non-negotiable every single day that you wake up to go train, not only are you bartering with the time that you have to wake up, you're discounting in your mind, you're trading in your mind, you're negotiating in your mind. Oh, I'm just too tired today. I need a rest. I can't do this today. It's too uncomfortable. I need some time off. I need to rest the body. I'll put it off for a day. I'll put it off for 2 days. I'll get back. Again, you're viewing it the wrong way. I don't view training and exercise as an impediment. I don't view it as time-consuming. I don't view it as laborious. I don't view it as uncomfortable. I don't view it as painful. I view it as nourishment. I view it as strengthening the temple that houses the Ruach HaKodesh. I view it as revering and honoring the creation that Yahuwah has blessed me with. I view it as a way to tap into the eternal transmission, the eternal communication. I view it as a way to get into flow state in the zone so that I can meditate, contemplate, and ruminate deeply in a meditative manner and receive the revelations and epiphanies, because when I get into that zone, when I get into that flow state, working out, training, and exercising gets me to a place where I can get closer to Yahuwah and have those conversations that count, because everything is wiped away from my mind except that connection. It's called flow state. It's called getting in the zone. So it becomes just a natural state of being, something that brings joy, something that brings elevation, something that brings transcendence, something that brings strength, something that I enjoy. I don't put off or negotiate taking time every single morning to read the parables, the phrases, the teachings of Yahuwah, Yahusha. Because I have to hurry up, because I'm late, because I have to take care of this, I have to take care of that, and this is going to take 15 minutes out of my day, 20 minutes out of my day, 10 minutes out of my day, a half hour out of my day, 5 minutes out of my day, and I need to get to this, and I need to get to that, so I won't do it this morning, but I'll do it tomorrow morning, or I won't do it tomorrow morning, I'll double up on it, I'll read, I'll learn, I'll absorb more the next day. It's a non-negotiable. No, it's not that it's a non-negotiable. I nourish my soul and my spirit with the word, the phrases, the commandments, the teachings, the stories, the life of Yahuwah, Yahusha, and of the apostles. Because it inspires me, it motivates me, it brings nutrition to my soul, it strengthens the soul, it brings me closer to Yahuwah, Yahusha. It brings me joy, peace, love, healing, solace, everlasting life. If you believe in Yahuwah, Yahusha, because you have to, if you follow his commandments because you have to, because you fear punishment, you fear going to Gehenna, you fear being damned to the valley of Hinnom, you feel that if you don't, you're going to be cast into the pit, cast into the fire, cast into hell, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You believe in Yahuwah, Yahusha, because he has saved you, because he has elevated you, because he has transcended you, because he has created you, because he loves you, because he has blessed you, because he has given you so much bounty, because he's the way, the truth, and the life. And you know that for all you have been given, that it's your greatest obligation, your greatest joy, your greatest responsibility, your greatest privilege, your greatest honor to serve him, to serve Yahuwah, to surrender to him completely and ask him to guide you, to show you, to direct you on how to live your life in a manner that pleases him most. Because when you are right with Yahuwah, Yahusha, all is right in your world, because you are exactly where he needs you to be. You're exactly where you can serve him best. You're exactly where he wants you. And so all is right in your world at all times when you walk in the light, when you walk with Yahuwah, Yahusha. And your life has peace, joy, healing, love, and everlasting life. The commandment is written on your heart to love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your fellow man as you love yourself. And all is right in your world because you are right with Yahuwah, Yahusha. So I never even consider these things that I'm talking about to be non-negotiables. I don't have to ever think about negotiating with any of it. It's natural. It's love, it's joy, it's healing. It's all the things that I've ever searched for. It's natural. It's like breathing. We don't have to negotiate with breathing. We breathe. Just like that beautiful vitamin D emanating sunshine that Yahuwah gave us to nourish our bodies. That warmth, that warmth is nothing compared to the warmth that Yahuwah, Yahusha, brings to your soul when you ask Yahusha to save you, to redeem you, and for him to wash over you with the Ruach HaKodesh, the set-apart spirit, the breath of Yahuwah that lights and heals you from inside. So if you're struggling, if you're worried, anxious, frustrated with the fact that you can't get your life together, you can't get your life on track with these things that you know are important, if you're find yourself failing again and again and again at having to push yourself to do these things that you know intrinsically are things that you should be doing because your conscience, which is Yahuwah, Yahusha, calling out to you, beckoning you to get on the path of righteousness and redemption, to take care of your body, to take care of your soul, to take care of your mind, to take care of your character. Those 4 pillars built on the rock. It's because you haven't had the mindset shift. It's because you haven't had the paradigm shift. It's because you haven't understood the rock on which you build your house on. Once you understand the rock is Yahuwah, Yahusha, the 4 pillars that you build your house upon, that you build your structure, the foundation on which you erect your life on, such that it is sturdy and true and steadfast and joyous and healed and loving, is Yahuwah, Yahusha. When you understand that grounding, that solid, concrete, impenetrable grounding that you build, all that you are upon is Yahuwah, Yahusha, then it's natural to strengthen the 4 pillars. Your character, your mind, your body, the temple, and your soul. Those are the four pillars that sit on that rock, which is Yahuwah Yahusha. And the minute you surrender to Yahuwah Yahusha, all of these things that you thought had to be set with rules and regulations and traditions, which you had to create as non-negotiables, constantly haggling in your mind, struggling in your mind, striving in your mind, filling yourself with strife and anxiety and grief and frustration and trying to stick to these rules that you could never stick to because you viewed them as things that you wanted to do but couldn't. Now you view them as things that you want to do and that you're compelled to do and that you can't wait to do because they please Yahuwah Yahusha. And you live for Yahuwah Yahusha. You surrender to Yahuwah Yahusha. And he shows you how to live your life in a manner that pleases him most. And in doing so, the rock is immovable. And the pillars are strong. And your life is good. And you receive his grace, his salvation, his redemption. And you are redeemed. And you have the character. You have the mindset. You have the temple. And you have the spirit, the heart. That makes life, everlasting life, worthwhile.